Everyone's been in that meeting. You know that one when it went on and on and on and on. And you left leaving the meeting feeling like you didn't achieve anything. You felt like your time could have been spent better elsewhere. You've got a pile of work sitting on your desk and you really need to get to it, but you had to go to a meeting. The meeting might have run off course, or there was a lot of friction at the meeting and it made you feel uncomfortable. You didn't feel confident about contributing your ideas because you might have felt they were unwelcomed. The reality is that team meetings are an integral part of our work life. And depending on the size and the structure of your organisation, you might have daily meetings, weekly or monthly meetings, whether they're stand-ups, roundtables or whatever. And I personally believe that most people want to lead collaborative, structured and productive meetings. One of the ways to do this is ask people what they find valuable in meetings. And it's going to depend on the folk that you have coming to your normal meetings. It's going to depend on their experiences within those meetings and other meetings that they have attended. And it's going to depend on how valuable they currently see the meetings. One of the most common complaints about team meetings is that people feel that they're a waste of time. When people come to a meeting with an expectation that they won't get anything out of it, they're less likely to listen and they're also less likely to contribute. And sometimes you'll see them starting to skip meetings. Before you send a meeting request, ask the people that you normally meet with, i.e. your teammates, what they would like to see happen in a meeting, what they would like to discuss. Is there something that they would like to see happen or not happen in a meeting? Ask them for their input. Is there a challenge that they would like to talk about? Is there something that's been weighing on their minds and we've never quite got to that on previous agendas? My advice is to collate that information and co-create an agenda considering the input that you've received from your team. Prior to the meeting, take the time to create the agenda so that everybody knows what the meeting is about. Be transparent why you did and did not include certain items on the agenda. So, for example, if people thought that we were going to be doing something but we're not going to be doing it this week, tell them why not. Tell them when we're going to be doing it. Help let people feel that they are making a contribution to things that they value at the meetings. Another thing that really irks me, and it's something that I really make sure that I don't do, and I really hope that I don't do it, and pull me up if I ever do it, is having a meeting without a purpose. You want to clearly let everybody know beforehand the purpose of the meeting. You don't just have a weekly meeting for the sake of weekly meetings. I've been in meetings where we've had daily stand-ups and we all stand there, we all gather around and we all just stand there going, wonder what we're going to talk about today. When is this going to be over? Will they hurry up? What's really going on here? And I have seen people's eyes roll. I have seen people's body language say, I really don't want to be here. I've seen people try and hide so they can miss the meetings. Too many stand-ups, round tables or meetings don't have any structure, don't have any purpose, and they will walk around and going, do you have anything to add? Do you have anything to add? Do you have anything to add? And we sit there going around a circle and everybody goes, no. And you might get the one or two that will say something. And unfortunately, you always get that one or two people that will go on and on and on and on, and they always have something to say. And often it's not productive or valuable. You want people to understand the purpose of the meeting, and it should be quite clear to everyone. Keep the meeting structured and keep the structure simple. Have a similar structure every meeting. This habit helps the people that need to know what's going to happen before it happens. You know, those people that get quite anxious about it, and they're happy to contribute once they know what's going to happen. That way everybody knows what's expected. The meeting should have a beginning, a middle, and an end. At the beginning of the meeting, check in with your people. If the meeting is small, that's easy to do and you can just do it one by one. However, these days you have quite large meetings and they're often hybrid meetings. So a simple way to do this is have everyone to have emoticons and get everyone to hold up their emoticon to let people know how they're feeling. This is going to give you a visual to see how everyone is doing and a visual to anticipate the tone the meeting is likely to take. And it also gives you a visual cue if you need to change the tone of the meeting, whether that is up the tone and energize the meeting, or whether that is address the elephant in the room. Always finish the meeting by restating the decisions made at the meeting, any actions that need to occur after the meeting, who's going to do those actions and by when. Also let people know when they're going to have the meeting recap sent to them, and the day before the next meeting isn't good enough. So it really should be the same day or at least the following day, so that people can look at their own notes, clarify that, yes, I agreed to that action, and they can hit the ground running. How can we achieve meeting goals in 30 minutes or less? I have a lot of meetings that I do in 15 minutes, and I also have 30-minute meetings, and I try not to have my meetings go over 30 minutes. And I remember when I first did this, everybody said it wasn't possible. It is possible. If the purpose of the meeting is to make decisions, then what you do is you send out all the details that everybody needs to make the decision well before the meeting, taking into account that people read and retain and look and digest information in different times. So you need to allocate time within the meeting to discuss any areas of ambiguity or any different perspectives that people have, because different perspectives need to have time to be discussed so that people can get an understanding of different viewpoints, and so that those different viewpoints can be aired and discussed and a decision made. And that might just mean one decision, one 30-minute meeting. But you'll be surprised to see how easy it is to keep your meetings to 30 minutes once you start telling people we're only having 30-minute meetings or we're having 30 minutes or less. The meetings start to become productive. People are happier because they see the meetings starting to add value, because the meetings are focused and you're not taking them away from their task. People can allocate time for 30 minutes, but 2 hours or half a day, that's a whole different story. So try and keep your meeting short and concise. Keep the meeting focused. This helps you to keep it to 30 minutes or less. If you've got multiple unrelated tasks, it's not a good use of your time. You're better to have like tasks together, or requirements or decisions grouped together that are similar, so that people can stay in the same mindset during the meeting. And it might mean splitting one big 2-hour meeting into 2 30-minute meetings. I doubt that it would require 4 30-minute meetings. At best, probably 2, possibly 3 30-minute meetings are probably sufficient. Use the communication channels that you've agreed on. And you should have agreed on what communication channels that you're using, whether you're using Teams or Slack or Asana or Trello or something else. You should agree on what you're using so that you can put up artifacts, so that you can have clarify anything post or pre the meeting that requires just something really simple. Provide different ways for people to see the information and contribute to the meeting. Remember, everyone has a different level of comfort when it comes to the time frame to read or to watch information before the meeting. Take into account the consideration of time that people need to go through any documentation or any videos. It's really problematic and concerning, and it doesn't make for a happier team to have everything sent to you 5 minutes before the meeting. I've seen this happen so many times. It makes you, the organizer, look really unorganized, and it's disrespectful to your team. Another really good practice to get into is having a workspace for your meeting when it's required. So if the intention of the meeting is to get together and collaborate and develop an idea, or to move an idea forward, or to go through one of the templates or tools or canvases so that everybody can easily contribute, then that workspace might be a whiteboard. Whether it's virtual or physical, it doesn't matter. And you need to have the workspace so that people can actually do what is required of them when required. And it needs to be organised in advance. You also need to organise in advance within your workspace how the team contributions are going to be collated and collected and organised and put together in a way post the meeting that is transparent and everybody can see. So be really respectful of your team and have a workspace when required. The goal, and this is a goal I have with every meeting, I have the goal of having happier and faster moving teams. So if I have that goal for every meeting, when I'm doing a retrospective on my own meetings, I'll think, how can I do this to make my team happier or feel happier, and how can I get them to move faster? And I think if you have this goal, you're going to find that your meetings are far more collaborative, structured, and productive, because meetings should be enjoyable.